Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel. So today is a very special day because it's the feast day of a young saint, Saint Aloysius Gonzaga. Thank you so much for supporting our ministry and for believing in the work that we're doing here. We really appreciate it. If you also want to support us, please consider becoming a member. It really helps us reach more people with the message of Christ. All right, little ones. Without further ado, let's dive into our video. Hello, children. Today, we're celebrating the feast day of a young saint who loved Jesus with all his heart. His name is Saint Aloysius Gonzaga. By the way, Aloysius is the Latin form of his given name, in Italian, Luigi. Luigi, or Saint Aloysius, was born in Italy in 1568. Even as a little boy, he loved to pray, read the Bible, and help the poor. He came from a very rich and noble family. His father was a prince. That means that he had a lot of money, nice clothes, and a big house. But do you know what he wanted most? To live for Jesus. One day, while he was still a young man, decided to give up his life of riches and honor to become a Jesuit, a priest in training. He studied hard and became a great student of theology. He wanted to be a missionary and travel to India to teach people about Jesus. But God had other plans for him. Not long after he entered the school, the city was hit by a terrible sickness called the plague. Many people were sick and dying. Everyone was afraid, but not Aloysius. Though he was young, he knew that God had a plan for him. He gave himself completely to helping the sick and dying, visited them every day, prayed with them, and took care of them until they either got better or died. Sadly, Aloysius caught the disease too. But he didn't run away or complain. He stayed and continued to take care of the sick until he couldn't anymore. As his own health worsened, the other Jesuits took over his work. They told him to rest and recover, but he refused. Instead, he continued to pray and prepare himself to die. Finally, after 3 months, he died at only 23 years old. But he died happy and holy, ready to meet Jesus in heaven. Saint Aloysius shows us that being young doesn't mean you can't be holy. He teaches us to stay pure in heart. When Aloysius was still a young boy, he promised Jesus that he would keep his heart pure and would never sin. He kept this promise all his life. And this is why we ask him to help us stay pure too. To pray often. Aloysius loved to pray. He started each day with a prayer and never forgot to thank God for his blessings. He also taught us to pray for other people, especially those who are sick or in need. To love Jesus above all things. Aloysius loved Jesus more than anything else. He chose to follow Jesus even when it meant giving up his comfortable life and facing danger. This is why we ask him to help us to love Jesus more, to care for others even when it's hard. Aloysius showed us that caring for others is one of the greatest things we can do. He didn't think twice when he helped the sick and dying during the plague. He cared for them without fear or complaint. This is why we ask him to help us to be kind and helpful to others. That's why he's the patron saint of youth and students. Do you want to know more about him? Read his story? Then ask him to help you follow his example. Remember, children, we don't have to be afraid to ask for help from our patron saint. Saint Aloysius Gonzaga wants to help us become better Christians. He wants to help us live according to God's plan. Let's ask Saint Aloysius for his help. Let's ask him to help us be more like him. Let's ask him to help us. Please, Saint Aloysius, help us. Please, Saint Aloysius, guide us. Please, Saint Aloysius, bless us. Let's say a little prayer together. Dear Saint Aloysius, pray for me. Help me to love Jesus like you did, with a pure heart, a brave soul, and a life full of faith. Amen. So remember, kids, you don't have to wait to grow up to be a saint. Like Saint Aloysius Gonzaga, you can live with love, prayer, and courage right now. Don't be afraid to be holy. Don't be afraid to be pure in heart. Don't be afraid to love Jesus with all your might. Happy feast day, and see you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. We'll see you soon for another exciting adventure with Jesus. Bye-bye.